So I've been having a couple of bouts with random people on Twitter, and frankly, I'm probably not going to be doing that anymore just because none of those conversations have ever gone constructively before. Like, there's always just one blockage that they put up in front of me that I can't get over. I'll present them articles telling them that, okay, this is the sources that I'm going by. What are your sources that you're going by? And, they'll tell me that they're not going to read the articles that I send them because they're too liberal. There are people that tell me that racism isn't such a big deal because, we have a black president, so lol at racism. If racism was that bad, like, we wouldn't have any black politicians or a black president. And whenever I talk about whitewashing or, missteps with celebrities or movies, people always tell me that, it's not a big deal. They're a good person. It's just a movie. It's just a video game. It's just this, ignoring the fact that it's going to be exposed and is going to influence thousands of millions of people. People tell me that they get cancer from reading the articles that I post. I think one of my favorites is when people look at my Twitter profile and they're like, oh, you work for this company. Of course you would think this way. Kind of using where I work as a way to invalidate my opinions. As if like I'm not a human being with my own thoughts just because I work for a certain company that they don't agree with. And all of these things that people say to me, it usually has this underlying tone, right? Of, oh my God, like, why do you still have to keep talking about this? Why do you have to keep talking about Black Lives Matter? Why do you have to keep talking about whitewashing? Why do you have to keep talking about this? My response, and I'm sure most people's responses to that would be, I'm not necessarily talking about this because I love talking about it. There's a certain mindset with some people who disagree with and call me like, typical SJW, who are fed this idea that my generation is a bunch of liberal crybabies and that my generation just really enjoys picking apart things that really don't have anything wrong with them just because my life is so sad that I derive meaning from my life by pointing out, like, by nitpicking, essentially, in media and with our current president-elect, or as I like to call him, our assaulter-elect. So my whole thing is that I would love to reach a point where we don't have to talk about this shit anymore. But until more people get their shit together and actually believe, like, all of these stories of women being sexually assaulted, women being raped, I can't find it in my heart to stop talking about these things because I think it's my duty to use my platform to kind of talk about and amplify these experiences. I'm actually kind of, in a way, fighting for you because you don't want me to talk about this anymore because you're annoyed by it. So I'm gonna fight so we can get to a point in our society where we don't have to talk about this anymore. The only time where we can't talk about this anymore is when there's actual, like, racial, and gender equality in this country. Let's wait until we get, a woman of color as president, until we get an Asian president, until we get a Latinx president, until we get a Native American president. Then maybe you can tell me to shut up about that. I know that probably most of the people that are actually going to watch this that care about the stuff that I have to say are probably going to be on the same side as me. So what I have to say to you is that try your best to be kind and to be patient with people who disagree with you. It's a lot of work, but please try your best to take care of yourself because you're not any good to the movement if you are exhausted and if you feel like you're in a place to give up. And remember that you also have the freedom to focus your efforts on, more macro changes, to actually, like, join activist groups, to join groups that will actually fight for legislation as opposed to, talking to people on a micro level as well. And there's always that risk of, like, telling yourself that it's self-care, but it's putting yourself in that echo chamber full of people that just agree with you. But learn to assess your body. And if you feel like you've mentally and physically have had enough of talking to people and some of their dumb opinions, maybe disengage for a little bit because you gotta prepare for the long haul. I'm probably gonna stop engaging with people on Twitter to the degree that I do because I think that there's always going to be something that they think that they have over me. And even though I don't think that they do, the amount of energy that I put into trying to, like, change their minds and hear them out, like, it's like it doesn't lead to anything that's worth that energy and emotion. Oh God, this world is so stressful. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. Whether you agree or disagree with me, I love you. In a platonic way, not in like a homosexual way, because, I don't want to threaten your masculinity. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you feel so inclined, and I will see you next time. Bye!